Roger, you've been a top-class rider in your time. You're now in one of the top British Championship teams, running the team, in fact, as a manager. How difficult is that in the year 2000?
When I started with Meds, I was team coordinator, and then I came to Ben Atkins in '96 when we took Steve Islop on the Kawasaki, and I never ever realised how difficult the actual job was going to be. I'd seen Rob Mack making all the changes in the sport to bring it up to speed with trucks and presentation, but the general day-to-day running and keeping the morale of the troops up and getting the right bikes and putting the package together is an absolute nightmare. I have got a real nasty side to me, but I am laid back, as you rightly say, and it's a balancing act when you've got guys who do World Superbike, then British Championship, and you know yourself what that takes in hours, and you've got to keep working hard at that when everybody's spirits are low and they're very tired. So I try not to crack the whip, as you say, too much, and not be like Colin Wright if you with his technique is different to me, but I believe my technique's right.
Colin Wright's style worked at the World Superbike round at Donington, and Reve Red Bull Ducati had more problems at Donington. What was that down to?
I think a bit of bad management on my side. I don't think we got it right. I don't think we debriefed properly. I think one of my riders wasn't quite into it as he should have been, and we chose the wrong tyres. We didn't do our own work. Colin got it right and I didn't, but I think you need a kick up the backside every so often when things are going well, and that gave us a kick up the backside, and we're here to make amends this meeting.
The manager oversees all aspects of running the team, but when it comes to the tricky stuff, you need a man like Stephen Thompson. Technically, how difficult is it now to get a motorcycle set up in the time scale that you've got to do it for each British Superbike meeting?
Well, it's not too difficult. It's not as difficult as you think, because we've had the bikes now for 3 years. We've got setups for each track. The main problem we've had this year is we've switched tyres from Michelin to Dunlop. Fortunately, it's not affected the suspension too much, so we've got on really well. We obviously do testing outside of the meetings, and that helps as well. It's not as difficult as you think. I think it's mainly because we've done so many miles with the Ducatis. We know there's a sort of an area that we can work within.
When the team get it all right, they're all laughing. But if they get it wrong, who do they answer to? In Reve Red Bull Ducati's case, it's Ben Atkins. His vision and financial input set the standard that the British Superbike Championship has now aspired to. Putting a team the size of the Reve Red Bull Ducati team together, keeping it together, managing it, and going through the agonies that you do with your riders as well, some would ask why you do it.
I think it's just, I've always enjoyed motorcycle racing since I was a boy, and it's always been a dream to have my own team, as you know, and you know, fortunately it's come together for me. I think the key is to have the right people in the right positions, and it's taken some years, but now I think this season, first time, we've got that.
Well, let's get a bit more specific, shall we? How much money does it cost to run a team of your size?
Well, I don't think we're one of the biggest teams in the paddock, but certainly we're running on a budget of around £1 million for the British Championship, and a few rounds of the World Superbike rounds, obviously. Yeah.
And would you say that was economic, that was good value for money?
I'll tell you at the end of the season. I mean, obviously our partners in sport believe so. I mean, the partners in sport put the vast majority of that money into the team, and we're very fortunate to have the right partners in sport. They encourage us morally as well as financially. And yeah, I think it is good value for money. The TV figures are great. The feedback, you know, everything from websites to media now. We're with the Daily Star, as you probably know. We're getting good coverage from them in the national press. So yeah, I think we're getting good feedback to our partners in sport, and it's a good relationship. I mean, it's not just a race on the track. There's a race in the paddock. There's a race in hospitality. Everything. It's everybody's being judged as, you know, to be the best in everything they do.
Is there a race to go World Championship racing?
Yeah, there certainly is from my point of view. It's where I want to be. It's where the team deserves to be. There's a spirit in the team this year with James and John riding well. The team is good. We've been through bad times and we're going through fairly good times at the moment, and we want to keep it that way. But World Championship is ultimately where we want to be.
Reve Red Bull Ducati's John Reynolds currently leads the British Superbike Series, so Ben's a happy man. Another top team is Demon Vimto Honda, owned by Paul Bird. They've recently invested in some hot young talent. James Toseland is 19 and back in Britain, but finding it tough.
Well, James, obviously a very familiar face to a lot of Sky viewers from the World Supersport Arena last year. What's it like coming to the British Superbike Arena?
It's a lot different. Obviously it's a new bike for me. I've never ridden a Superbike before, and also the slick tyres, and it's a brand new team as well for Paul with the Superbikes. He's usually a two-stroke person with the 125s and 250s, so it's a whole new ball game for everybody, but things seem to be settling in okay.
Well, talking of settling in, the other week at Thruxton you looked like you got the top-end power sorted. You were up there with the boys at the front, but that mid-range power is still a major problem, isn't it? Where are you up to on the spares for that?
Well, from Brands Hatch, we've basically got the same bike. There's been no development at the moment from the Japanese, but there is talks about things coming through. We really could do with some now. We're doing really with the best with what we've got, and I think we've hit a limit now to what we can do with it. But if the development can come through, then hopefully we can keep improving. But as you can see, the British Championship, as you saw at Donington last week, it's very competitive, and we need something like Colin Edwards' bike to be up there in this country.
That is what a lot of people out there may be thinking, that you are on the same machinery as Colin Edwards. That is certainly not the case, is it?
I think it looks about the same from the outside, but I was there on Saturday at Donington having a look at his bike, and I struggled really to find something that was the same as my bike except for the fairing. But yeah, it would be nice to get some of their parts. Obviously they're developing all the time. That is the main object for HRC really, for the World Championship, but hopefully when they get to a level where they can pass something down, then I'm sure they will.
Round 4 of the Superbikes line up with the top 4 British Superbike teams spread over the front row. On row 2, watch out for Kawasaki's rising star, Steve Plater. We've already seen what he's capable of on a good day. On row 3, Shane Byrne is back after that massive crash at Thruxton. And on row 4, David Wood is the best privateer, out-qualifying Toseland and the battered Sean Emmett. The Travis Perkins Harris Honda Britain team just can't get out of the injury zone. The Superbikes are next. Most people will remember Alton Park for 2 reasons: Hodgson and Walker. Chris Walker misses a start, he'll be dead. Here comes Hodgson. Mackenzie out of the race. Chris Walker backs it in sideways, superb. Walker right on Hodgson's case. Oh, superbly just there from Walker. As they come to the line, he's Hodgson going to hold on to the win. Oh, Walker round the outside, but Hodgson takes it. Oh, class act on the track and in celebration. Beat that man. John Reynolds can only watch on. What a race. It was almost a shame there had to be a winner. The top 8 are all class riders, but Hodgson and Walker were special. Neil's win took him to the top of the championship. John Reynolds could only shake his head at what was happening. The adrenaline was pumping.
I played it pretty cool until the last corner, and then Walker got alongside me and I thought, oh no! But I managed to hold him off.
Yeah, I mean, Neil lost a bit of time in the middle with the back marker, so I was pretty lucky to be that close. But no, I mean, I fought really hard right to the line as always, and didn't quite work. It was about 3 inches, wasn't it?
The scene was set for a titanic clash in race 2.